Yeah, it'll be fine.
You can only get so many pens, you know?
All right, kids, we ready?
Yeah.
Just want to remind everybody that our meetings will be audio and videotaped and will be shown on the Township of Ocean's Community Cable Channel, Channel 22 on Verizon Fios, and Channel 77 on Cablevision. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Napolitani?
Here.
Councilmember Achara?
Here.
Kaplan?
Here.
The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. A copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, posted in Town Hall and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 14th, 2023. Items for discussion. Let's start with our engineer, Greg Lash.
Good evening, everybody. Yeah, item number one, the 23 road program is ongoing. We're about 3/4 of the way done with it. We finished the west side, we're on this side. He's got all the concrete work done on Shadow Lawn, Princeton Court, and Ross Court. He just has to pave. He's paving that next week, I believe, weather permitting. And the rest of it, we've got about 5 other roads that aren't finished yet, so that's gonna be weather dependent.
Okay. So we're on target here?
Yep.
So, as it relates to the road program, so we're done, when do you guys wrap up for the year? Right about?
Probably end of November.
End of November.
Staying warm.
They stopped the paving in December anyway, right? They
Yeah,
just
the
closed
plant's
down.
closed, yeah.
Yeah, the
usually
plant's
December.
closed. So, I know you, and we're getting into budget time here, and I think that the council has to be real cognizant of what you've said to us in the past, and it's something that I think we really need to think about. We're behind roughly how much, Greg, based on?
Several years.
Yeah, several years.
Yeah,
Okay.
generally what happens is the road program, pavement lasts about 25 years. And what we do is we take the road miles in the town, dividing by how much roads we do each year.
Yep.
And we're on about a 37-year pace instead of a 25-year pace.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
So, yeah, we're essentially falling behind every year, and it's,
Because we see what happens with a 40-year-old road, which is something that I'm presently on right now, or actually longer than that. I think the goal of this council has to be to get caught up on that. And what type of numbers are you looking at to potentially get us caught up?
I think right now we'd probably be looking at an extra $1 million a year for 5 years would catch us up, so we'd be at the 25-year pace. Because right now we get, like this year that's gonna be adopted, I believe, you adopted in the 24 budget.
Yep.
It was 2.7 million for the road program, which is the same as what it's been for the last 15 years. And the
Okay,
prices have been going
so,
up.
Dave, I know we had talked briefly about this. Maybe we should probably run it by Ricky, getting ready for the budget. If we could try to get, half of that in now, and then like I said, in anticipation of the potential cannabis tax, that I will make the assumption that by Q2 in the first in 25, I don't want to count Q1 yet, because the updates that we've been getting show that the first ones may be open by February, and then the second two, I believe, they're in construction now. There's a significant amount of tax dollars that could be projected, and I think, Dave, you corrected me and said we can't really go off of projection of a tax. However, if there's a way that Ricky can figure out something that maybe we can project, because I feel strongly that we need to jump this road program a bit, because this is the majority of what we get the complaints about in the town. Greg, I mean, all 5 of us call you constantly about the roads, and
A lot of residents, I mean, I can tell you over the last 3 years, I mean, for the number of calls I've gotten from 4 years ago up to 18 years ago when I first started, all of those that I got in that period of time don't match what I get in a year now, if you
Right.
added them all up.
Right.
Because we were pretty close to on target with the, because we were getting like 2.5 to 3 million every year, when the
Right.
prices were half of what they are
Yeah.
now. So I was doing twice as many roads.
Yeah.
Twice the length. So people could see it coming at them faster than it does now.
Right.
It's like Shadow Lawn, I mean, that's broken into 2 years. Most of the roads that are long, I have to break into 2 or 3 years, because it would chew up the whole budget, and I don't wanna do just one road. 'Cause
Right.
then you guys would get a lot of calls from only one road in the town for a year.
All right, so Dave, let's see if we can ask Ricky if there's a way that we can be a little creative with the budget going into 25. I understand fully what you're saying about you know, my argument on the other side is there's gonna be a significant amount of tax revenue coming in off of those
That's what
licenses.
the 2024 for.
But,
2024 for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but the problem herein lies,
25.
we have
24's
no,
already been adopted.
we have no gauge right now. We can't say, wow, we're gonna get this amount. They can tell me a number, which they've told me a number, but I think it sounds a little high. I always wanna go lower on what they're, you know, what they claim they can do. Regardless, we're gonna get a significant windfall here, and I know 26 is definitely the year we can, I think, comfortably bump it to the number you need and get us caught up. But I think if we want to start to work on this problem sooner than later, I think we need to look for a way to get another $500,000 in there for next year, for 25. I think it's important. If anybody disagrees, let's talk it now, you know, before Dave goes and tries to shake the money tree over there.
I think it's a matter of, not against it, having the road program improved, but also not looking to add tax dollars to the taxpayers. So if it's gonna be offset, that's one thing, but if we're gonna bill the taxpayers for it, I don't disagree that you get complaints, you get them from me, to your point, you get them from all of us, and you probably have residents calling you directly because they found your number. I didn't give it to them.
That's a-
I do.
They have-
But, so that's the finance side of it. And respectfully to the residents, how valid are their complaints? And I don't mean that,
Yeah, no, the problem we have is a situation that some of these roads haven't been paved, like the mayor said, in 50 years. And not that the road isn't drivable, but the problem is it's starting to decay the subbase. And when we get into subbase repair, that doubles, triples the cost of fixing a road. And that's what I'm trying to avoid. Like a lot of the roads, some of these, not a lot, but I would say we're probably in about a dozen, have roads where you have cracks, you know, transverse cracks from, have weeds growing out. You know, so that means it has a path beneath the subbase to get those roots down. So those are the kind of roads, and we have a lot of them mostly on the western side of town, and they're large and they're wide.
My
We have a
road is
couple-
probably 45 years old.
Yeah, we have a couple over here, you know, and
Yeah.
that is, we did Sherman and Grant, but you have the next two down. The length of those, they're like 40 feet wide and, you know, a mile long. And those are all gonna probably be broken into 3 years right now to get, and I've got 3 more left over here. So you're talking that's 9 years to get just these 3 roads over here that could use the whole road now. You know, so it's not, you don't have to go too far to see them if you're really looking for it. You know, most of them you just kinda hit a couple bumps in here because the base hasn't been.
Take a
hurt
ride
yet.
on my road, take a ride up Pilgrim Hollow, go over, and you can see a road that's 45, 50 years old, and you can see that you've got, there's nothing left. And that road doesn't even get used that much. I mean, I'm basically a horseshoe. So really, there's only 5 houses on there or whatever. So I mean, that doesn't really get a lot, but it's in bad shape. And, you know, people need to understand the mayor hasn't had his road paved either. So I get no special treatment.
Yeah, that is truly the problem that you get from a lot of people. The argument is, you know, just because there's not a lot of people that live on my street, like, you know, you come over here like we did Roosevelt, for example. I mean, that length of Roosevelt, we probably had 50 homes on one side.
Right.
You go to the same thing over on the west end of town, same length of road, we may have 10 to 12 homes. So it's kind of like, you know, just because we don't have as many people on the road type of thing. I think, no, listen, has nothing to do with the number of houses, how we rate these roads. It's all based on the condition of the road, irregardless of what zone it's in.
Yeah, plows and all that other
Yeah.
stuff just destroy these roads. So, I mean, you know, Greg, you bring up a good point. If we've had the same number in there for 15 years,
Yeah.
common sense tells you that even
It should
during
be double.
COVID, forget about it. I know the prices went up, but they must have gone up significantly from 2021 up to now.
They're a little more than double.
Yep. So we're
We're
double
doing
and
half
we've
what
got,
we
so
used
we're
to do.
half of what we're doing. So we're clearly need to,
Which kind of makes sense if you think about it. Before we were on a 25-year pace, now we're doing half. That's why we've fallen behind almost to 12 years now.
yep, okay.
Okay, next one is the 24 road program. That's on there. That's being authorized tonight for me to start working on that. So we're a little behind on that. That will come out probably next spring. I was trying to hopefully to getting that done so we bid it in the wintertime to get a much better price when we bid things in January. Especially a program of our size, because every contractor loves coming out of the box with a beautiful project like that in the bank so they can bid on other things.
So Greg, does that mean you're doing 24 and 25 in 25? Or you're,
Yeah.
you are,
Depending
okay.
on when the budget comes out, because remember, the budget came out late this
Yep.
year,
Okay.
and I'm just getting authorized to start tonight for
Okay.
that program,
And just to be clear, starting means what?
starting engineering work.
We have identified the roads?
Yep,
Yeah, they're listed in here somewhere.
yeah.
Oh, were they? Okay.
Yeah, I gave you, the list is actually from like February, when we were doing the budget for this program, so I kind of gave you all the roads that were targeted. A couple have flipped around because I've had a couple of problems where I got some drainage issues to deal on it, so I moved a road in and removed one out type of thing. And then there's one road that is getting kicked out of the 23 program that will go into the 24 program. So it's a small road, but just things like that, but the majority, like 99% of the roads are the same. Okay, next item is the Kepwell Park. We're right now looking to get quotes to demo that building and pool. We didn't get the CDBG grant to build the building, or build the bathrooms. We'll apply for that again, I guess, next year. I guess, I don't know, we have to talk about that. What if there's other projects we may be more conducive to getting the grant, but, so right now, we're looking to demo that building, so I'm gonna get quotes for that, so we can find out. Ricky said we probably have the money, based on my estimate, to take that down, so I'll let you know better on that next month's meeting, what other quotes is. Next one's, is the dredging projects, Fireman's, Lollipop, Terrace Pond, and Snells. Those are all in the queue of waiting for funding. Those are all sent, the cost to finish these projects. We're waiting for Ricky to give me, there's available funding to do them. So those are all been waiting on that.
That's counting the grant money that we received.
Now, the only one we got state money for was Lollipop Pond.
State, sorry.
But I'm checking into that because I'm not sure what we can spend that money on. I know it will not pay for engineering work, but it'll hopefully pay for the soil testing and the dredging, all that operations for whatever that costs us. But I'm trying to get more of the engineering paid for, because if we get the county to help us, we technically aren't really gonna pay for dredging if I can find a spot to put the spoils.
Right, okay.
So I wanna try to make sure we use all that money, not have to give any back. And Snell's Pond, we're waiting on 4 people.
I'm on
I
it.
forgot the list, I was
Yeah.
gonna bring them tonight.
Yeah, okay, send it
But
to
I'll
me.
email it to you tomorrow.
Yeah,
There's 4
okay.
people still remaining on that. And like I had told you, my only concern is those signatures are over a year old now. So I don't know if the original ones may have to be redone, because the state doesn't like, because people move and sell their home.
Right.
And the state wants to make sure the guy on the current list is the guy who owns the house.
Okay.
So I might have to, when I get those 4, I'll probably redo and get the other, I
Okay,
think,
just
20.
let me know, I'll help.
Yeah. Okay. 1515 Logan, same situation, we're waiting for DEP approval on that one. Next one, Bimbler Road, traffic study. We talked about this a little bit last month, possibly looking at making that one way. I don't know if that's the council's consensus, you want me to start putting some,
Help. Are these meetings public or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can come in and sit?
Yes.
Hello.
How you doing?
so I don't know if that's what you want me to kind of start moving forward on that, put some feelers out with the county and tell them that's what's coming, so we don't shock them, we'll kind of ease them into the situation.
So Greg, if we, how difficult is it to get it switched over to one way?
It's your decision, it's our road.
Huh.
But I don't want to just do it and put the sign up. I want to let the county know
Well,
we're
I
doing it,
got
'cause it's
got
gonna
approached
change.
today, Rob might have too, from Dr. Dorfman, who lives on there on Bembler. He's been pretty vocal about, speed bumps and speeding, and I get his point. I mean, Bembler, we had a house there, God, 50 years ago, and, it was always a pass-through like that, so I think we should potentially look into it.
Yeah, I don't know. The one suggestion I was gonna make is, in the past, they have a couple groups over there. I would suggest that maybe Dave and I meet with them to
Yes.
tell them this is what we're doing, just to make sure, they're all behind us, because we
They
don't wanna
asked
go to
for
the
that.
county, all of a sudden they come on and say,
Yeah.
who said we wanna do this?
They said they want to be part of the
Right,
conversation,
right,
that was
so-
one of the.
Well, you know what? We could do what we did for one of Master Point Road. We could have a
Yeah.
meeting like we did. Let's just schedule it and invite, the residents. You want to invite the whole area, or just that
Well,
section that's kind of affected from, like, Bembler?
well, they have that committee.
Yeah, they have some sort of committee.
I would say if we just alert them and say,
They
hey.
emailed us like a
Yeah,
Okay.
PowerPoint.
Invite everybody on your list that wants to come.
Yeah,
to
let's do
situation.
this after the first of the year. I think we're too tight in between the holidays. I
Yeah.
don't think we want to jam it in December unless you guys feel you want to.
I think it'd be better. to
But
do
we'll
it
wait till
January.
January. Let's get a meeting like we had for one on Master Point Road, open, give them some input and see what they're thinking and go from there.
I will ask this though, on timing, how, if they say, yes, great idea, let's look at it, give me the timetable.
Well, you could do it instantly,
Okay,
but I would really recommend that we tell the county, give them a month to digest it.
okay,
Because what's gonna happen is it's gonna be instant, it's really gonna have to, we're gonna have to put the signboard out there, no left turn
Right,
permitted anymore.
right.
And probably put the police out there to give them, hey, you're gonna get warnings now.
Right.
But this is the new rules.
okay. I was looking
So-
to make sure it was done before the summer, so
Yeah, no,
plenty of
yeah,
time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Got it.
We could do it. It's just the county's gonna fight us on this because they're, it's gonna put traffic out in Asbury where it's coming from, where it belongs.
Right.
And Asbury may have an opinion on it, but it's coming from there, going there, so in my opinion, leave it there.
Yeah,
So, but from our point of view, it could be fast. I just don't wanna get
Yep.
everybody upset at you guys and them coming back at us.
So you're saying that if we just do a no left turn, they would have to just go up to Ridge if they're going east and make a
Correct.
left on Ridge and come down to Wickerpecko?
Well, I think the county's fear is they will not go to Ridge. I think 4th Street actually comes out to Asbury
Fourth
Avenue.
Ave, yeah, it comes
So
out.
they're gonna make a left up there and go up to private residence street to cross over, kind of, it's the next Bimble, really. If you think about it, it's no different, because it'll avoid that light. And that's why I was asking them to put a left turn along the signal lane turn there, so people will go up and be faster to make the left turn than it would to cut through the neighborhoods.
after we put the one-way up, I bet you they'll do it.
Well, they're gonna have to look at it, because I know what's gonna happen, it's just all the people that live on 4th Avenue, west of Ridge are gonna complain like the people on Bimble are complaining, because now it's gonna be a line of traffic sitting there and get across a stop sign, a flashing light. So it's coming. But I think that's probably the best way to handle it. Everybody will know what we're doing as opposed to just shocking them. Okay, next item was the crosswalk on Sunset at Maple. I looked at that, we're actually putting one on both sides because the handicap ramps are there, and I didn't wanna just paint one of the crosswalks, so both of those, we're gonna be painted this week. Contractor got a little delayed, so they're gonna be painted next week. I know there was a resident that called me and I told him it was gonna be this week, weather was permitting, but line striping is kind of a finicky thing. They wanna have a full day of line striping out there, and the line striper delayed this to next week. So the contractor's asking him to do that next week, so it should be there next week. Next one is really a non-item, I think, is the Hope Road sidewalk on the south side, up on, by Green Grove Road. We left that off because we think that corner's gonna be developed. I think I'm just gonna take it off my list for now, because nobody's really asking for it anymore. And
Have
I
we
think-
heard that property was flipped yet?
I knew it was for sale.
Yeah,
but
no,
don't know if
I think it was, somebody had told me that it was close. They had a couple of people interested, but I agree with you. I mean,
Because why do we wanna pay for that
doesn't make
sidewalk?
any sense.
Yeah,
They'll do that in the site plan when they come for the
Right.
approvals with planning board.
right. Okay, next one, is the trail between Roller Road and Sunset is done.
Yeah.
Gates were adjusted by the fire department.
Yeah, they
So
were
that-
good. You did, thanks for checking that
Yeah.
out.
So
That works now?
Yep, that's all done, so that's up and ready to go.
They had firemen were a little concerned that it was too thin to get through.
That's not done yet.
Oh, that's not-
It's not that it's too thin. See, there was a misnomer.
Okay,
They said it was too thin. I said, I didn't change the width of this, and they said, yeah, we know. The problem is there's an inlet right there where they have to turn.
right.
And the bigger truck needs a bigger turning radius, and he has a problem, if he hits that, it's gonna give him a flat tire. So I told him in this year's 24-year road program, I will try to get that fixed to a flat grade.
Right.
So that's, it's something that won't give him a flat tire. So they're appreciative of that, but they were saying the road is narrow and all that. I said, the road's wider than it used to be. And when their chief came out, he said, yeah, we know, we drive through here all the time. I said, I know you do. But that was all resolved, but they brought a truck out and everything, and the chief was there, so they just were more worried about that grade. And I'll get that fixed. The DPW facility, Cindy Lane, we're waiting for the wetlands delineation. Kramer Court Bridge, that's 95% complete. I heard from Green Acres, they're not necessarily opposing, they're going to Blue Acres, who are the people who brought through the state, bought the properties, the flood properties. They're just checking with them, they'll get back to me, I think we're gonna be fine. The only other thing with the bridge is, I'm gonna probably hold off on the lighting, because it's the last thing that needs to be done. The last 5% is pole lights are supposed to go up to light the bridge. But somebody put lights, solar lights, every 1 foot on the handrail, both sides. So I'm gonna go after this meeting to look at how bright it is. I personally think it's gonna look like a landing strip, so we may not wanna do that. But I gotta see how bright it is, but I do not wanna put double lights up. So if that looks adequate, it doesn't look bad from a strip point of view, then we'll maybe leave it like that. But I have concerns in the wintertime when it snows or when it's darker, those solars may not last long enough through the night. So that could be a problem. So I'm probably over the next month, because the contractor's kind of waiting to get the JCP&L connection anyway. So we probably got a month's time to make the decision whether that's good or not.
Did you do, I haven't been there in a while, we do the,
Concrete paths, yeah?
yes,
Not
thank
yet.
you.
I'm waiting for Green Acres to give me the nod.
That's the,
The stone trails are there.
Right.
And the bridge is being used.
yeah,
It's just that the concrete walkway isn't there yet. And actually, those will be put in when we do Brookside, because Brookside's in the road program
Yep.
this year. That's one of the roads that has left to be done. Okay, next one, the next phase of the stream cleaning, we got the quotes in. We're waiting for the contractor's W-9 to come in. Once we get that in his business license, then we're gonna be de-snagging between Whale Pond and pretty much up to the library. We didn't quite make it all the way to 35 and Deal, the development, Ocean Plaza, but we're not too far from it for the 25,000, for the 15,000. So that little piece will be in the next round, and we'll move probably up to the Whale Pond Brook next. I got a couple other little things down in here I want to do that aren't problems, nobody's complained, but I want to get to them before they complain. It's in and around the Wanamassa area. There's a couple little streams that they back up, I know they do, but they're short and people don't know there's a stream in there. So I'm gonna get those cleaned out before somebody finds out they're in there. We should be cleaning them out. But those are all coming up. I think we're way ahead of schedule. We planned on, I thought we would probably take about 3 years to do the section of the Poplar that we've done in less than 9 months. So we're moving pretty good.
did we get the permission to go from Whale Pond to Monmouth? Yeah,
No, not yet. I'm waiting. I'm not doing that because we're gonna do that piece by West Allenhurst by Washington Avenue, that one piece of property. I forget the cross street off the top of my head, but it's from Washington to that one first cross street. There's one private owner we don't have an easement through. And now, first I was waiting for our machine to come in, that just came in. Our little machine that we did de-snag with. So we're gonna try with Public Works Forces, and that's gonna be our test case, that little short stream there. If that works, then I'm gonna use that to go between Whale Pond and Monmouth. Because it's all residential, and it would be ideal for our guys to get in there with a small little machine and drag that stuff out of there. So I'm hoping that works, and then I'll get the permission from the residents to go through that section. If that doesn't work, then we're gonna have to get quotes to go in there and do that. But I'm pretty sure we can make that work.
okay.
So that should save us a lot of money. Another item I wanted to bring up, and you had actually brought it up, is the Wanamassa Point Road.
Yep.
We have to
We
kind
have
of
to
go
make a
through that.
decision on this.
Yeah, we have to make a decision. We kind of told them we would spend as much as it would take as we would spend in a road program there and do a section of concrete. So what I wanted to do, I want to get a map. I already have the map. We know the cost of the roads. We know the sections we want to do. I have that map, and I want to have another public meeting with the residents. I want to say, this is what a road program would pave your whole road. I don't recommend it spending it all at one time because you have future problems. This is it for 25 years is what we kind of agreed to with them. So.
So
yeah.
before we dump money into cement patches, let's meet with them again.
Yeah, and I'm gonna bring it to you guys first to show you what we're talking about. Here's the length of concrete road we fix as if we did it all in pavement. The cost it would take the concrete out and put a pavement road in there, which is far cheaper than putting a new concrete road in. Then once we get that, then I think we go to them and say, here's the length you have, this is what we recommend, and you can do it in the pieces you want. And if they wanna do it all at once, I guess that's up to them, but
And then they're,
then they're done for
That's
25
it.
years.
That's still our program. That's our road, they're not paying, this is us.
Yes.
I mean, they may get the assessment for
Yeah.
the curb and everything, but.
Right.
or
Well, not the
sidewalk.
curb.
Sidewalk, sorry.
Yeah, but yeah, this was because we say we only put asphalt back in.
Correct.
And they're saying they wanna maintain the concrete road even with the patches, and I'm like, and even they are saying now the patches are getting unruly because,
Right.
you know, they're all different elevations and slopes, and it's just not pretty.
and we're not gonna require them to do sidewalks over there.
No, there's no
none.
room for
There's no
sidewalks.
room
Right.
over there.
No.
So, would we, if they insist on, and I don't know the temperature of the people that were in the meeting, but if they insisted on doing concrete,
We told them we were gonna assess them.
Thank you. I wasn't sure. Okay,
Yeah.
that was the
And
question.
That's when they backed away from that road.
Got it. Okay.
Because their assessment would be gigantic.
Yeah,
Right.
it was millions, the whole road is millions of dollars to do.
Right.
And there's, I think, maybe 40 houses in there, that may be on the high side, probably closer to 30. So that's a pretty big nut for these guys to absorb and pave the road back in concrete.
Right. Okay. I mean, that's fair. It's not
Yeah.
unreasonable.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
That's what I told them, I said, this is what we spend on all the other roads in town, you guys are the only concrete road we have, and we don't fix concrete roads, so. And that brings me to my,
So should we do that one in January also?
yes.
Good.
Yeah, I'll probably, just to give you guys the break, well, I'll bring that to the January meeting here, and maybe we'll schedule a resident meeting for the end of January.
Okay. Good.
I watched the video of the last council meeting about the road program, about assessments. And I just kinda wanna give you the skinny on road program.
You actually watched the meetings?
I do. I do, believe that or not, yeah. They're very informative. The road programs, what happens is, as you know, I pick the roads, give them to you guys, and we kind of agree on them. The assessment district is for sidewalks and aprons. Curbs are paid for by the town. So no, there is no question or a possibility of getting out of doing a curb or an apron that I pick. And the reason being is when we reprofile the road, I have to reset curbs and aprons. Because if you didn't reset the apron, then it's gonna hold water. And then what did we accomplish? We accomplished a bird bath, which is the worst thing in the world, because it's a safety issue. So I tell residents, if we can save it, we will. If it's a part of the road that we don't necessarily have to reprofile, we can save aprons that way. Very few are like that, because all these roads need to be road profiled. And I'm only talking like a half inch, but a half inch of water in your driveway is catastrophic with ice. So sidewalks and aprons, or curbs and aprons are mandatory. You cannot get out of them. Sidewalk, what we do in the sidewalk program, or in the road program, we go and identify all the sidewalk that I recommend taking out. Meaning there's an offset joint, or the age will not last another 25 years. Because that's when it's gonna technically be back for our cycle. So we say, and we recommend you change it because it's a cheaper price and you can't do it for what we do it for, and your sidewalk's not gonna last 25 years, and that's when we're coming back. So you can opt out of it, or you can do what we're recommending, or all of it if you do, because if we can pick all of it. Some people like the constant look. But that's the only thing they can opt out of is the sidewalk. They can opt out of all of it, pieces of it. The only thing that they have to do with a sidewalk is if we find a tree that has lifted the roots, we take the tree out and we do assess them for those 2 or 3 squares that has affected. So they can't opt out of that either. But the only thing they can opt out of is sidewalks.
So what brought this, refresh my memory on the, what was in the meeting?
The lady who comes to our meetings all the time was saying there was, they were saying you can opt out of this, you can opt out of that, and I think some of the comments were you can opt out of this, the curb,
Oh,
you
that's
guys all were
fine.
kind of
Okay.
like confused about what you can opt out of and in, what's assessed and what isn't.
Right.
But the only thing that is assessed is the sidewalks and aprons. You can only opt out of the sidewalk.
Can't opt out of the apron.
Can't opt out of the apron.
Okay.
Just so you know, just to make it consistent, because
Thank
it was a
you.
little confused that night, and I was pulling, I was gonna run back up here. Like, give me 10 minutes, I'll be there.
Watched it live?
Yeah, well, yeah,
Well,
of course.
You need a life. Sorry.
Wow.
Having fun.
No, but I know the people are sitting up here.
Yes.
Like tonight, they're not here. So I wouldn't watch it tonight's meeting, but when they were up here asking these questions, I knew it was gonna go up down there. So I watched
Right.
it
Ah,
here.
very nice.
That's
Okay.
true.
All right, that's good.
Next time I see them up here, maybe I'll hang around.
There you go.
So I'll just save you the problem, just, because that would have been one that just answers it instantly, it's done.
Right.
There's no confusion.
Right.
Thank you.
No problem,
And we do meet with them. Greg and I meet with
yes.
everybody ahead of time.
Yeah, we meet with the residents, we send them an assessment, preliminary assessment, we meet with them to go over the plans and discuss with them why we want that, and then we go do the project, and we meet with them again to go over the quantities for the final assessment, so they're very well advised of what we're doing. And I don't think we get any complaints, very few complaints over, the people who've agreed to what we do. We get a couple people call up and question the quantity, we go out and discuss it with them and show them. But other than that, we've had, out of the thousands we've done, we've probably only had a couple that we've had, go out and
Yeah, I don't
discuss
remember
with.
ever. Yeah, that's the least of the complaints.
Yeah, and it comes out looking nice.
Yeah, it does.
That's all I have.
All right. Any questions for Greg?
So, let's talk about the resolution.
Monty's gotta get home and watch a work session.
That's a real meeting. I gotta eat dinner first too, so I don't wanna watch that on an empty stomach.
The notice of violation.
No, that one we discussed before.
What's that?
Oh, I'll bring that, well, you know what, I could do that one too. So, should I bring up what you and I discussed before about, I won't get personal, but should we try to not do it? The 85,000.
No, we have to do it. We are bound by that because we're gonna get a violation notice, which is gonna be well in excess of 85,000.
All right,
Yeah, we have no choice.
okay.
That's the notice of violation for the
Did everybody take
stormwater.
the stormwater management?
Oh, yes.
The training? I know Gita did and Kelly did.
I started it, don't
That's
think I
part of
finished.
part of,
Mayor, you have to
Yeah.
take that too.
everybody has to take it, because that's part of
Because
the.
because of this violation, she's nitpicking on things.
Oh, that was one of the requirements?
Yes.
Yes, that's one of the things on the list.
Are you kidding me?
Nope, and to have those,
I'll send
your,
it to you.
and to have your certification on file here, because she's gonna come in and pull the file to make sure you personally signed off on that certification. That's the fun we're having.
Somebody else needs to get a license. All right, so resolution
You thought
17,
me and Dave's job was easy.
resolution 17 with ARH. So I don't have it in front of me, but no, I have this, but I don't have the breakdown. So you broke down the costs for what do you call it? Ocean Glades.
Uh-huh.
So 119,000.
That was,
You involved in that?
no,
No?
that's ARH is doing that,
Yeah.
that's, they're doing the wetland delineation, that's. not
Right.
me.
Yeah.
That's not me.
So you weren't, okay. So then you're off the hook for the time being. Hold on.
Which means I'm on it.
That's right.
Yeah, you're gonna get it.
Do you need the number?
Now I gotta watch the meeting later.
Yeah, there you go. See how he does.
There we go.
Sorry, I wrote the numbers here, but I didn't correspond them. So this is 208. Hold on. 208. Sorry, guys. So you have anything to do with Route 35 revitalization?
Well, let's go back to the 210. Let's do.
No, we don't need him.
Oh, okay. You asked. Well,
Yeah,
okay.
that's fine. I just don't want to waste. Yeah, I want him out of here.
I can't steal your time. Sorry.
That's good. That's good. Nope, I'm good then.
Oh, you're out.
Nobody else? Okay.
Run away.
Okay, good night, everybody. I'll see you on TV a little later, maybe.
We'll wait.
Wait, Rob, you got any more insults before he goes?
Well, we'll see him in Atlantic City. So.
Yeah, it's easy this year, right?
All right, our Mr. Manager,
Oh.
Dr. David Brown.
Got a lot. Got a lot. tonight.
Dr. Brown's.
Dr. Brown.
All right.
Dr. Brown, sorry.
So first up, we have the state of New Jersey, as you know, with the new Fair Housing Act. They require that every town with an obligation, which we have, to report on affordable housing activity, have a municipal housing liaison. The municipal housing liaison must be an employee of the municipality. The role cannot be done by an outside entity or consultant. The appointment will also require that the individual submit credentials to DCA to be approved for this position, including attending educational courses in affordable housing, and they're working on updates to the current classes to reflect the changes in the law. If you see, if you
Congratulations.
notice-
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
I nominate Dave.
He's
So
in
There
there.
you go.
So that is a resolution on to put me in that role, and I do have the education already completed, but I have to see with the new changes if I have to take any additional courses. So we have that done, and that was already in progress anyway because Ron Kirk used to serve in that role.
Got it.
That is number one. Next up, Alta Leaf has approached us. Alta Leaf is a Class 3 wholesaler requesting the Class 3 wholesaler license from the cannabis. He does have it from the Regulatory Commission. He holds a resolution of support from Woodbridge Township, and he has sent me both documents attached. So what he's basically asking is if the council would like to go out for an RFP, which obviously he would apply to and anybody else because it has to be a open public bid. And it is at the pleasure of the council if you want to proceed and get with this license. Right now, no one holds this license in town.
Is that one that we approved?
Yes. I just need a yay or nay.
Nay,
I knew that.
you asked.
What's your recommendation, Dave?
Good question. Didn't expect that. I mean,
Let me throw the balls out.
you put it out there. I mean, it is there if
Right.
you want to access it.
What's the benefit? Is there a benefit?
It all depends. I'm still waiting on the other ones. I did receive positive emails from the other licensees that we have given out, and I've had a bad experience with the first one, as we all did. So I'm just, I just want to see something happen. Like, we're giving out these licenses and then nothing happens.
Right, so, I mean, you mean because of the first two that didn't get off the ground?
Yeah.
All right, so you've been getting reports.
Yep, I recently got two great updates from the other two licensees, so they
Yeah.
are working.
And the
with their-
one reached out to me to give me an update in requesting if I had a contact with JCP&L, because there's been no problems with, there's been no problems with us at all in the building department. We've been really moving stuff along for them. There are issues with JCP&L and getting the electric hooked up. They're moving right along. They anticipate a significant amount of revenue once they get up and running. You know, my feeling up in the corporate park up there off of Sunset Avenue, I don't see, I don't know, look,
I mean, ultimately, you guys put it on the books, it's there, and obviously the CFO would say, yay, because we have, a chance to make some revenue for the town.
yep.
So, I mean, why would the council vote it, put the license there, and then not award it?
Right.
But still, your call at the end of the day.
Well, I mean, I think these guys are moving right along. I mean, at least four of them. Like, there's one I don't know what's going on with. If you can try to find out what's going on with number 5, I understand 4 of them are moving, right, from what you've seen, if I'm not mistaken. One's been updated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
so they're moving. It's not like they're sitting.
Oh, yeah. My thing is just, I just want to see it open. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get to that
me too.
stage.
So, I got an email, I forget his name, from Ganja Manja about an extension on the date that we have on there, December 31st. I called Matt to ask him about the deadline, in other words, we put the deadline in there because of what happened to us last time, because we didn't see anything move, right?
Right.
So, now that,
Okay.
what's that?
No, that's the gentleman there.
Oh,
From,
yeah, me and John,
Out to
we're
leave.
out to leave.
Oh,
No.
That's
Yeah.
what we
Oh.
came here for.
Okay.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
my,
Tell you about it if you want.
I know how, I feel up in the industrial zone, I don't see an issue with adding additional, manufacture and cultivation, because they're in warehouses and stuff. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I know we definitely do not want to have an unlimited amount of I would never say that. That makes
Oh yeah, well, then
absolute-
remember this license for the wholesaler.
Yeah. So, I mean, I
I mean, do you want to give him a couple minutes?
yeah, absolutely. Let me hear it.
So, the benefit that we have as a wholesaler is we are targeting that spot up there. We have a place, we work with the landlord, they're ready to lease it to us.
Can I ask you a question? How do you, if you're not a cultivator or a manufacturer, how are you a wholesaler? Why aren't they the people that actually have I'm just curious how this works, because I really don't
No, it's an
understand.
excellent question.
So how does a cultivation or manufacturer person not have the ability to wholesale it out? It's their product.
They do,
They could.
but they're only wholesaling their product. Nobody, like Tropicana doesn't go and sell, another brand's orange juice. They're only
Okay.
gonna sell theirs.
Okay.
So now, if you're the dispensary,
Right.
you want to be able to have a wide range of
Right.
different products on your shelf. You have to
Okay.
either go and source it from each individual cultivator because they're only going to have their brand
Right.
of stuff. Their, strain or whatever, or significant manufacturers, they make, different types of products. But if you go to a guy like me, I'm going to go to all of the smaller people. I'm going to buy their stuff. I'm going to put it in one spot and distribute it and sell it to the dispensaries, And also for brands that wanna come and.
You're not a storefront.
I'm not a storefront.
You're
I'm
gonna
not
sell
open the
to
public at all.
whatever the name of the retail that we have, I don't even know the name
Correct.
of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like.
You would
like
sell
air
to an
dispensary.
air, you'd sell to, okay.
Yeah, but they're MSOs, so they wouldn't really buy from me because they would keep their own. They have their own variety. They have 20 different
Who
brands.
does?
The Airs and the Zen Leaf.
Why, because they're,
They're multi-state operators, so
Oh.
they have everything under their umbrella. And
Okay.
so right now, the dispensaries, if I'm a small guy and I open up, I have to go to them to buy to restock my whole dispensary. And then you go to a couple of these
are
smaller
you like a
guys.
brand house? Is that?
Essentially, kind of, yeah. We do bring people to market too. We distribute their products. Like, say, if you want to be your brand in California and you want to come to New Jersey,
All right, cut to the chase. What kind of numbers can you do? I mean, I'm about numbers, and what could you potentially project for this town, like in revenue?
we didn't really prepare any of that for you guys.
Okay.
You know,
What do other wholesalers do?
there's nobody open. We're trying to be the first or
Put
one of
them
the
in.
first to open.
In the
Um,
state?
So,
Yes.
so is that a
Yeah,
yay
we're trying to be
vote?
the
'Cause
first
that's
in
what
the
I'm
state.
trying
I'm
to
a
get
yay
at.
vote,
Nobody's
yeah.
operational.
I mean, we'd be
Why?
crazy not to.
They,
I have.
I'm gonna tell you, we're
Why-
getting our lunch
we can't
eaten
tell
on
you,
both sides.
we can't speak on why the other people aren't operational yet, but we're aiming to be the first.
You mean wholesalers?
Wholesalers,
Yeah.
yes.
Well, we didn't have anybody.
No, and that's why when we put this bid out, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
And so
Why wouldn't we put the bid
I
out?
just want to tell you why we wouldn't kind of fail or not open up. We're successful operators in another industry. We've run a multi-million-dollar construction business. We're licensed. In
How
the
much
entire
space does a
coast.
wholesale operation use?
The building we're looking at is 2,900 square feet.
Oh, so it's not even that big.
No, we don't grow
Yeah,
anything.
you're
We don't
not
need
like a
power
grower.
upgrades from the grid. We don't need to touch electrical
Oh, they don't even need
service.
that, so they don't need
We don't need to
P&L.
do construction. It's
How
an
fast
existing
can you get
building.
open?
Fairly quickly, it's the cheapest location we found. So we were going to set up we currently have at our business now in Woodbridge. That's where we got licensed. But the ground under us, we don't own it. And they didn't like the banking stuff with
Right.
cannabis, so they pulled our approval after they already approved us. They were about to start construction.
Maybe who?
The
Our
landlord,
landlord, the people that own the building.
not the municipality.
Not the municipality, our landlord. They approved us, we were gonna go through the planning board phase, and we needed a final signature from
The
the
only place
owner
we-
of the company,
the only place
Stro.
they'll do it.
And then they backed out. They're like, our debt consultants, this and that. We advised against cannabis, so that's what stopped us from being that process. Very quick, it took us 3 weeks to get approved through Woodbridge City Council. From our attorney applying, giving all the paperwork, within 3 weeks, we had, we were on the agenda, and we're unanimously approved.
or just the.
Then we got our resolution. I have that right here with us to show you guys. And that's the only reason we didn't set up there. We would have already been the first people to be open if that was the case. We don't need, in the state, yeah, we don't need outside investors. We are it. We hold all control. I'm also a social equity company. Due to like my previous felonies, I'm a cannabis operator, like been doing this for a very long time. So we know how to operate business at a very high level in a more regulated field, like telecommunications is more regulated than cannabis. We put that on our application to the state. I also
So
sent
there's
them-
no wholesalers in the state?
No, the wholesalers are these guys right here, Air. Like that is and they don't have that license. I have license number
Yeah, but
5.
they can't wholesale out, right?
No, they can. Right now, they're controlling everything. They're doing all the wholesaling to everybody. If you're a dispensary, you have to, for wholesale, you have to go to the Air and to the Zen Leafs to go and buy, 20 different lines of product to stock your shelves. If not, you would have to go to Zen Gardens, not Zen, Neptune's Gardens, they're in Neptune City. If you wanted to buy their product and you're a dispensary.
Wait, they have one open in Neptune City?
Yeah, in Neptune
Alright.
City, they have Zen Garden and Victory
There's
Garden.
2 in Neptune City? It's
In the
only 2
same
blocks
building,
wide.
same warehouse structure. I know both of them too. We've done all the work to get opened up, have all the connections. I just need permission from the city to let me
Oh,
do
if
some
we put it out, why
construction.
won't we put it on? Let's-
And we're also general contractors, so we would do all the GC work ourselves, so we're not gonna have any hiccups
When you
with
estimate the
construction.
time frame to get open?
That place, we could do it in 2.5 months, depending on inspections and getting everything approved. Now, I have to get site plans and all that fun stuff, or since it's not really a modification of the whole building, we're just changing some interior walls, no structural stuff, no egress, exits. well, we're not changing sprinklers or nothing, I don't think we would need a site plan, you know, but we have our architect, engineers all lined up to do this stuff.
So Ocean Township would be the first one in the state, you're saying, that would have an
It could be, yeah.
actual wholesale?
Yeah.
So
Now,
why-
we don't know how long the RFP process takes though, you know, like to have to submit a bid. We've done this with other, you know, in our current business of bidding on contracts and stuff like that. And that process isn't quick. You have to submit, it's gotta be open for a while.
We've done
They
work
have
with
the
the
reading.
Department of Homeland Security, so
Yeah.
we
We
So-
know, like,
Why would I buy from you and not the people that you mentioned?
because if you're a dispensary, you have to go and procure from all these different spots. And then you have all these different AP, as AR, all these different account receivables, you have all these different.
And I'm trying to understand.
They're doing that right now because there's no, that's why, like, New Jersey staged the release of licenses so that, like, all right, the cultivators and manufacturers, theoretically, they're supposed to open up first and be able to get, you know, their market share, make their money back. Then they open up, you know, the dispensary, recreational from the multi-state operators and allow them to eat. Then everybody starts coming online, us, like, the little guys, as I call it, we're little guys.
But we approved this 2 years, how long have we had the wholesale license available?
Well, the counselor here just made me aware, when we went out for, and we got the other two, we went out for wholesale, nobody,
That's what I'm
Nobody-
asking, that was 2 years?
This only came out
so we
last
may
year,
not have to go
September
back.
27th, for
What?
social equity applicants, the wholesale license.
We already have the ability to do it, right?
Yeah, it was scheduled to come out, the license,
Excuse
but
me,
just,
Do we have the ability to do it?
I think so. I mean, we already went out to bid and no one responded, and now we got the.
Here's, and I'll, you know, and with all due respect to Rob, we haven't seen dollars come in yet because we had two former licensees that were played around a bit and just didn't get open. We went back out, we now approved 5. We approved 2 cultivation, 2 manufacturer, and 1 retail. And based upon these numbers that you're seeing on both sides of Ocean Township, they're pretty significant tax dollars. I think, you know, our issue is we haven't seen the tax dollars come in yet. But I think once they do, or once, you know, the council sees that there's dollars coming in, you know, I think it makes it a little more palatable, especially when you have an engineer tell you you're, you know, $1 million short on a road program. And Rob, I agree with you, I don't wanna raise taxes either, so that's why I keep saying we have to be creative. We don't have a parking utility, we don't have a beach utility. I can't raise fees there to, you know, jack them up like Asbury Park. It's $7 million and $7 to $10 million in their parking rates. They can raise beach fees. We don't have any of that. We have a pool center, which, you know, brings in money, but that's the pool set. So we do need the additional tax revenue so that we can maintain a stable tax rate. And that's my argument right now, to see that we get these dollars in so that we can do these extra things that we need to do, or not even extra, things that we need to do to catch up in town that we've been lagging on. So, you know, obviously, I'm definitely all for it, especially if we don't have to go back out again. You know, if we had it approved, or we said we would allow 1, we said 1 or 2?
1.
1. Okay? I mean, I can't see getting an influx of wholesale people.
there's only 10 licenses
In the
issued so
state?
far that
I
they
was gonna ask
issued.
that.
You can look this up, it's on the New Jersey Cannabis
I was gonna ask you
website.
that if you knew that.
I have license number 5,
Okay.
it's W hashtag 5 zeros and the number 5. I can give you my card, I have a copy of the license here.
Oh, yeah, I got it.
I mean, theoretically, I heard there's this thing, other towns call it transferring your license. Technically, I have a license already, so can I just transfer it to your town?
No,
Wait,
Does that make it easier for you?
no.
wait, what do you mean?
Just spitballing.
So
It's
why
good.
our town?
Over my
And I'm
head.
not trying to
We're
argue
both
against
from Long
myself,
Branch.
but.
We're both from Long Branch.
Alright.
He lives in Monmouth Beach now. I live in Shrewsbury. I love how it's close here. Our other business is in Woodbridge, 30-minute drive for me. I don't want to drive that far because I got to be here every day. You know, this is our baby. We got to, bootstrap it, make it, come alive. So I want to be nice and close. It's a great town. I was surprised that you guys allowed cannabis. Honestly, once I saw it, I was
So
like,
was
wow.
I.
I was like, that's interesting. And so,
Thank you.
we plotted it on the map. So, we plotted on the map,
You're on
and
a
we
roll
drove
today,
all the
huh?
zones, and, we found a good spot, with a cannabis friendly landlord.
Elderberry.
No, it's you know, it's we were surprised, and it's very safe, like my partner said.
Low crime.
You know, so
how will we
and
roll out
the
this?
revenue from us, you know, it would definitely help all your parks, whatever you know programs you use with it. I guess road programs.
Okay.
Are you looking to do this in other places? Like you said, you tried Woodbridge, it didn't work.
What were you
No,
saying?
we want to be first to market still, or one of the first, because like even if you're not first, if you're the second, you're still gonna have now 50% of the state's market share to go after. Like it's kind of like shooting fish in a barrel in my opinion.
Right.
And we have this business is pretty easy compared to like our current business because we go down a list that the state issued licenses to, and these are people I call and do business with. This is takes drug dealing to another level.
What?
And
Probably when you
hopefully
use
that one-
Don't say
Don't put that in the resume.
Probably wouldn't use that line.
Right.
I'm gonna ask the same question again, and then we can get out of this if you want. So, why would the dispensaries today, hear me out, use you if they're not using you today? Wouldn't it cost more for them to go through you than to go through them?
No, because when I go online, I can help lower the price for consumers as well because the cultivators need somewhere to unload their excess inventory, and that's someone like me. I'm like a liquidator, or if they have a tax bill due, they need to come up with cash quick. Go to a guy like me to liquidate their 40, 50 pounds of pot, and then I go because I got very significant deals. And I go sell this off to the dispensaries.
And also there's a scenario.
And Rob, you're in sales. So
Yeah,
you
no,
should totally
that was a good answer.
understand.
I'm a liquidator.
So I gotta tell you, if you get a yes out of this guy,
Oh, you're not gonna get it, yes, but you're intriguing me. So,
There's also a scenario where the dispensaries are kind of in a way forced to utilize us because the manufacturers and the cultivators, they don't want to have a sales force or a distribution arm for their company. They just want to make the product or grow the product. And they would essentially, we already have calls coming in.
Yeah,
that the
I have people that
manufacturers
are
want
ready.
us to be their sales force. And when the dispensary goes to call the manufacturer to buy product, the manufacturer is going to defer that to us and say, hey, you have to buy.
so I lied, I got one more question. How does the
yeah,
the
one more,
product-
and then we gotta
Yeah,
move
so
because
does the
Jesse's
pro-
getting
do you
mad.
get the product in the facility?
But I got
Yes.
a lot more to go.
So how does it get from the cultivator to you?
Either they deliver it or our logistics team will pick it up and bring it into the facility.
And then how do you get it to the dispensaries?
Same reverse. Our logistics team would deliver. Delivery would be included, or they can come pick up from us.
Thank you, guys.
Cool, thank you. I was,
Didn't realize we would have had you. Talking.
yeah, I would have you before. I didn't know you guys were.
No problem.
I thought you were just stumbling by. All right, so we will
Because we
definitely
get so many
discuss,
visitors.
we have let's make a decision for the December meeting, if we can do it, as per Matt. You'll let us know, are we okay to put it on if we wanted to on, in December?
Awarding, I mean, there's been no application, so that's the first step.
Right, okay.
So he can't award a license without the application.
So, what are the next steps on this? Like, what,
I assume it would be fill out the application and submit the information, which has to be reviewed by,
your committee?
yes.
Yeah, you have a committee that did
Committee.
it.
Yeah.
You guys, are- well, you
Yeah.
guys are the ones that did it. You,
Yeah, we
Right.
got,
Yeah.
You reviewed.
we got zoning
Community
officer,
Can you get the
public
application?
safety, legal, myself.
Whoever it is, we'll have
We're-
our attorney send it in.
can we?
Yeah, they
Can
just,
we direct them?
actually,
Can you give us?
Jesse's
one?
office has the application.
Yeah, we'll get you that application. You get another one? Yeah, here we go.
Plus the $5,000.
All to
Huh?
leave.
Plus the $5,000.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, right.
Oh.
Thank you,
yeah.
Joseph, appreciate it.
Yeah.
No problem.
Yeah, figure it out. I'm on.
License number's right there.
Yep, got it.
All right.
Cool. Next, Dave.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Next, Deal Aid Commission, we were able to secure insurance for them through us, and they will pay the difference. So it's not costing us anything, the Deal Aid Commission's gonna pay. This allows them now for the grant that they have to the tune of $900,000 to help clean up Deal Lake and the different ponds and like, or not different ponds, the terrace pond up more towards Seaview Square Mall. We'll be able to work on that project now. And so this is a great accomplishment, and we want to thank the Midgift folks for working with us to get this done.
Yeah, they couldn't get it anywhere. Yeah.
And it's something new. They
Yeah.
just started that.
Yeah, I don't get it, Don. We didn't,
He was going crazy.
Yeah, I know. That was good. I'm glad we could
Yeah, that
help
was
them out.
great.
Yep. All right, Dave, next.
We are working on the budget. All department heads are currently having their meetings with the CFO. They're all going well. Our CFO has put out the normal budget preparation letter. We have a calendar when all of us are to meet. And I believe there is expected as normal to introduce in February, but normally we get a local finance notice that pushes everything back to March. And then we actually will adopt in April as long as everything's in order and obviously the council is pleased. So we're on track for that. Spoke to the chief, and even before speaking to him, it was my inclination that we need to increase our officers in our police department as we are a growing town and we have a lot of activities going on. It would be nice to increase that. The chief had wrote me a letter for a staffing report, which I would like to share with everybody. What I'll do is I'll scan this in and send it around. Chief made some excellent points on the necessary needs for us to increase our force. So as the chief goes to his budget hearings, he will be tweaking the salary and wage line item to show that. Also staying in line with budget talks, there was a request that came into the mayor and myself from the public defender, and he was looking for an increase. I asked the public defender to go back and to do like a salary survey. So the high end for like Howe was like 40K, Freehold Township 35K, Marlboro 25K, Homedale 25K, Hazlitt 23K, Ocean Township 19. So we're on the very, very low end, so I see why he asked. And after looking at it and just doing a quick average, the average would be about 30K, but the CFO and I are recommending 25K to go to the increase in this year's budget. So you'll see that during the budget season.
Respectfully,
Yeah.
I'm a salesman. So nobody's lower than us, or he only gave us all the ones that are higher than us?
I don't think nobody's lower than us, to be
Yes.
honest, but he did not.
They are.
Come on.
They are what?
Come on, Rob.
And I'm not saying he doesn't don't get me
The amount of
wrong.
money he's getting paid is ridiculous.
No, and I'm not disagreeing with that, but there's nobody
Let's
lower?
not nickel
No,
and
there
dime.
is.
I
That's
don't
what I'm
know
saying.
for a
There
fact
is.
yet.
I know for a
Yeah, but he
fact,
gave enough examples. Let's
Yeah.
not nickel and dime this guy. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, we're talking 6,000.
Yeah, we're
I'm
not
just,
talking.
I'm asking. I'm
He asked for
doing,
30, we got him 25.
Yeah, they negotiated. There you go. You sell, he negotiates. How's that sound? Stick to your sales job, he'll stick to the negotiations, and we got it done.
Route 35, administration had moved forward with a purchase order for 10,000. So I just want to let everybody know that the Route 35 revitalization strategic efforts are underway. We'll be absorbing the services of topology, and they will be working on a scope of services. Phase 1 will be the physical and regulatory conditions, which will take about 60 days. They'll do a market reconnaissance, which will be another 60 days. And then phase 3 is a finishing up a market reconnaissance, and which will establish corridor-wide goals, identify priority sites and recommendations, and then incremental implementation plan. So this goes to all of the economic development and strategic planning that we're looking to do out on Route 35 and revitalize it, and use our rehabilitation area that we had passed back in 2022 to make these businesses known that that's there, because they can get some short-term 5-year tax abatements if they upgrade and improve their properties and things of that nature.
so does the 10 get us all 3 phases, or the 10
Yes.
is phase 1?
10 is all in. Yeah, no, this was a good deal, and first time working with this company, and they've been pretty good. So I expect to see a nice report from them. They're very data centric.
Where have they done that before?
All over. Now one of the owners I used to work with in Roselle, so I didn't know him, but the Topology is a new company, but they're mostly northern New Jersey, Newark area, in that area, working with different towns. And if you want me to get further
No,
references, we can. Okay, but I know very credible. And speaking of strat plans, guess what I got?
Got the strap plan.
The draft strat plan is here. So I'm just gonna pass that around. It's only one copy because it's not done. Tracy and I took a look at it. We wanna change some of the color. Some of that gray print, we wanna make it blue so it stands out. Tracy helped with picking out the pictures and everything.
This is the what?
Our strategic plan.
Oh,
Strat plan for short. Sorry.
Actually, that was on my list of like.
See that?
I
See that? Knocked it
For
right
you.
off your list.
I didn't even ask you this Wednesday, so you were ahead of me, or Monday, whenever the hell we met.
Yep.
Wednesday.
Yep. Our consultant had some. She went out of the country for a little bit, so that kind of took some of the time. We got caught up in the summer months, so here we are, and then we're trying to make this effective like January 1.
Is this editable?
It could be if necessary because it's about to go to print.
Can you send us?
Yeah, I can, but we're kind of at the finish line. You need to do something?
I
Here,
don't know.
look,
Did
look,
we all
okay.
look at it?
No, I'm passing it around now.
No, but did we all?
Oh yeah, the final copy went out months ago.
Really?
Yeah, this is just color now. All of the goals and objectives were done. You responded.
Did I?
Yes.
Read it, it's
Yeah.
not.
Oh, look. Yeah, that's why I'm apologizing because this thing we should have had the cut. This just was colorizing it and putting it in a nice format. All of the goals, because she came here and about a month or two after that, we had it all packaged. We sent it around for other comments. I think maybe Dave Fisher responded. And that was it. So we're going with what we had in that room that day. And now we're at the printer. That's why I said, you want to make a change?
I'm gonna take a picture of this and then.
Absolutely. And I can send a copy to you via email. And then the last but not least item that I had was for closed session.
Do we have to discuss the best practices Ricky wanted everyone to look at?
Oh, yes, that must be discussed briefly. So we can check that box and get that back to the state of New Jersey. It's already been submitted, but you have to hand it out.
Hand it out?
So did everyone receive a copy or they're getting it right now?
No, I sent it out
Okay.
with the agendas.
So is there any questions, concerns, comments on our best practices? We officially got all of our points, so we won't be shortchanged on any governmental funding from the state.
I don't know what.
And we're in pretty good shape. I think there might have been one on there that I'm gonna work on to make
How
sure
long does it take?
we can affirmatively say yes to it next year.
Okay. And then there's something down.
Which was a perk one, which I actually wasn't even aware of.
Which was what?
There's a perk question on there.
Oh.
Perk is the public employment, what's the R's name?
Environment?
Something like
And then I
that.
sent
Commission.
it again.
But they oversee all the employments. We have to send in all of our negotiated contracts
I don't know why.
to them.
Wow.
Let me check now.
And one of the requirements was that we were supposed to send some extra data in that I didn't know about, and Kimber and I are both taking classes. Because matter of fact,
There
I
it
think
is.
most of the state of New Jersey wasn't aware of this.
Wow.
Man,
So someone,
Mandatory
Joe Munzo, who's a longtime seasoned CFO, who's
wait,
retired,
email. I
he
got
does these
mandatory
webinars.
training.
Both Kimber and I signed up for that webinar
Okay,
to see what we got to do. Because there's quite a bit of paperwork to fill out.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Negotiated contract.
Yeah. Well, it's easy to send the contracts in, but then they want all this specific data.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's almost like they want a summary of the contracts into
Oh my
into their
goodness.
special format.
That's not fair.
Yeah, exactly. They got us doing the work for them.
Right.
But that's all I have there.
Did you want to go over a meeting schedule for next year? Or wait till the next meeting? I could send,
You wanna send it out and we'll look at it and
Okay.
then,
Were
we'll
we
do it
going-
next month.
were we going to one meeting a month? Or did you want to keep
I think we
two?
schedule them and we can always cancel.
Okay.
Do what we've been doing. I
Okay.
mean, we're
I have
good if
the-
we don't have
I
business
have a
or.
Jewish calendar.
Awesome.
Most of them aren't on.
Yeah,
the
a lot of
Jewish
them are
holiday.
weekends, yeah.
And I have work permitted, work not permitted.
Thank you.
Yeah. The only one looks like Purim in March would be,
Oh,
work should be avoided, begins at sunset on Thursday.
that's right, so that one I wouldn't be able to come
Yeah.
to. That's okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, it looked pretty good for the year. Okay, I'll send out what the schedule should
Stuff
look
went
at.
faster than I thought.
And,
That's a lot.
and did anyone read Sergeant Martinez's suggestion of lowering the speed limit
Where?
Yeah.
on Roosevelt?
No, that was the attachment too?
Yes.
Damn, I only clicked on the first
There
one.
you go. Because then I can do an ordinance at the next meeting.
Should we lower
Oh,
down?
yes,
So
25,
lower to,
30.
the current speed
25.
limit is 35, make it 25.
I agree. Sold.
Okay,
Yeah, agreed.
Okay.
Good.
Yep.
all right, so we'll do it.
That was easy.
An ordinance next meeting. Simple, that's it. We'll do the appointments next month, Joe. I'm done.
Anything else? Any questions before we go into close?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
Just, I assume this is, so I'm looking at the bills list.
Okay.
So it's a bills list, I think, because we're paying the bills. And I don't mean to be cute, but
Give me page number.
let me give you page 35 for
35.
the heck of it. Did the Township Museum donate $1,000 to our anniversary? Or did, because there's $1,000 charge here, or there's $1,000 listed, and it's got, and there's two of them, Little League and the Historical Museum. I don't see either of them donating to us, and I'm not sure why we would donate to them.
No.
What was it?
We did do a donation to them when we did the 75th Jubilee. I believe we
75th.
had money.
Is that
Yeah.
when we use their space?
No,
No?
no, Dave, the 75th, what's the date on it? Is it after July? Like,
It just says
Well, it's paying
170
now,
and
October
contribution.
18th.
yeah, okay,
It says
so
October
we did
18th.
$1,000 donation to them, because we made money on the event, and Jen and Mike wanted to do something for the Historical Museum.
And same
Remember,
thing
we
for
were
Little
there
League?
that night, we told Paul we were giving him $1,000 from the fund.
And same thing for Little League.
I have no idea about the Little League. I had talked to Jen and Mike, they might have donated, they might have said they were donating, how much to the Little League?
I think it's the same thing, hold please.
Thousand?
I think so, hold on, I circled it.
Oh, we could ask Jen, there's a possibility we did a donation to them too. But we felt that Paul was looking for
No,
more
that's-
money
that's
for
fine.
for the
Yeah.
studio
Yeah.
tower,
That's a
and,
good
you know,
thing.
we raised some money with that, and
Yeah.
he said it's a great idea to give them a grant, we got it.
And then the other one, so was Little League, 500 for Little League.
She might have done that. We might have
Okay.
had, maybe, yeah, there wasn't a lot of extra money.
That's
She used some
good.
money for rec, special events, and I think I told her to let Paul have the majority of it, because he's trying to fix up the
Well,
Stu Seal
good.
Tower, and that looks like
No,
a
that's not
mess.
Ray Ray. That's the back.
Yes, we're trying to fix the Stu Seal Tower, not tear it
Because
down,
Ray Ray is the front. He's in the-
as some people think.
How to do first and second.
So he's-
Well,
All right, I'm gonna keep one of my, you guys want a room?
Yeah, you don't mind.
I'm on a roll. I couldn't let that one go. All right, page,
Sexually harassing.
I
page
know,
50,
right?
and it's funny, I'm doing a sexual harassment training at work.
How amusing.
But that would be borderline. That would be it's persistence. If I did it once, I don't think it's bad.
I'm gonna go with that argument.
No? All right, I'm kidding. I may fail. I didn't pass the quiz yet. Page
I would go with E
50.
on that end.
Page 50. E, all of the above. Page 50. The podcast for the 10th hole. $1,500, $1,600.
Okay.
What is
Comes
that?
out of golf. He did a podcast from there, I think, for advertising.
Mike?
Oh, yeah.
He's beefing up so that he can get more foot traffic in there.
Right. No, which makes sense.
Which he's actually was telling me that he's booked several parties already.
Yeah.
And he's got
Yeah.
a good draw.
And
He's been
the,
doing
His
good.
numbers are going up.
I
He's
think,
saying.
oh, yeah, and I think he just showed me a picture today, the lacrosse team, I think it is.
Yeah, he put up the,
Put the
OT.
logos?
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was great.
Yeah, because they're
It's
using
great.
it in a whole lot.
Yeah.
Lacrosse or
Great.
golf?
Was it maybe golf?
I'm sure it's a golf team.
Golf. Yeah, because that wouldn't
Yeah.
make any sense.
No.
Unless they like to play golf.
So that is
the lacrosse team.
that is for a podcast?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah. Cool. All right, you want some other ones? Let's go. So we did that one. Were you able to find out the question on the budget transfer from the chief? The 250,000?
No, Chief went away, so I'll catch up.
I think that's closed session. You answered that one. You answered that one. So, the ARH.
Oh, yeah.
So 199,000-ish.
119, I thought.
119, sorry. So if we did, like one line, plan prep was $39,000. I don't know what we're paying them per hour, but let's say for argument's sake it's $200.
Okay.
That's 195 hours.
Yeah, this is a lot of work. And it's already, we had enough money to cover this, but we didn't have quite the 119. So that's why it's got to come before you guys, because the way Ricky did it, he put it all, combined it under one, because we had money in this line item in Public Works, money in this line item in Manager's
Right,
office.
right.
Exactly.
So having said that, and you know me being a fan of going out to bid, and I get we're doing this as a non-fair and open, so we don't have to go to bid.
Yeah, we already did that, the bidding process, yeah.
And that's why we chose them,
Yes, well, we chose them because, remember,
amongst other things.
they've been working on this for the last
10 years? A long time.
No, since I got here,
2007.
last 3.
Okay,
Yeah.
seems like that.
Yeah. And they just got awarded now because the LSRP left us like they did over in Ocean Glade, because remember, it used to be GES.
Correct.
And they just jumped the boogie and left. They did the same thing over on Beecroft now, too.
Really?
It was getting a
I'm glad
little bit
caught-
like, you
glad
know.
somebody caught that.
I don't understand. I heard it, but I don't know what it means. Oh, it's a song. Up
Yeah.
Jump the Boogie. Oh, yeah. 70s or 60s. I'm
Good for
joking.
you, bro.
80s.
You're
That's
there.
where you need Marty.
Yeah.
Come on now.
So, numbers are okay?
Numbers are fine. Yeah, numbers are absolutely fine.
Pretty
But
sure
all-
Dave would probably.
I know, but
recommend
I
it.
just, I get it, but
It's a lot
that
of
number
work.
just jumped out at me.
It's
and I-
monitoring. They gotta come out there, they gotta put the things in the wells and monitor it, and it's an ongoing effort.
Over a how long period? Ish?
Almost forever until we get the DEP to tell us we can either.
Okay.
They're
And
also
then-
gonna
and
try
then
to.
it won't be 119, but once they set everything up and get the proper data to show DEP, it'll either be deemed a,
Right, the 3 options. Right.
exactly.
You explain that.
And
Okay.
then
And
they'll
that's what-
delineate
and then we
between
can
what we
figure
can,
out-
what we can
exactly.
develop and what we can't.
Because we need to know if that, is it underground water and is it carrying over to the area where we think we can build? That's what we're hoping that's not the case.
Got it. All right, we did that one, we did that one, did that one. Okay, I'm good.
Yeah,
Closed
they had a
session.
whole team out there the other week working with Steve Higgins and DPW. Because they have to let them in, so they came out there with like 3-4 people or whatever, setting stuff up.
Okay.
DT,
I'm good.
anything?
There.
I'm good.
Nada. Motion to go in closed session.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
We are in closed session.
We have to pull that.
Just want to remind everybody that all Township Council meetings will be audio and video taped. They'll be shown on the Township of Ocean's Community Cable Channel, Channel 22, on Verizon Fios, and Channel 77 on Cablevision. Can I have a roll call, please?
Mayor Napolitani?
Here.
Councilmember Achar?
Here.
Councilmember Kaplan?
Here.
Councilwoman Turner.
Councilwoman Terry? I'm sorry.
If everyone could stand for a pledge allegiance and remain standing as we say a silent prayer. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I just want to recognize real quick William Billy Anderson, who had that blue house over by Rolling Meadows. He was the holdout over there, and he passed away recently, and I just want to honor him and just have a silent prayer. You may be seated. The notice requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act for this meeting have been satisfied. The copy of the annual notice was sent to the Asbury Park Press and the Coaster, posted in Town Hall, filed in the office of the municipal clerk on December 14, 2023. There are 2 emergency exits on the wall to my right that'll take you to the front of the building, and another one to my left that'll take you to the rear. Please make sure that all cell phones are turned off, and if you have to make a call, kindly step out of the room. Before we get started on our public comment, I'd like to go down and start with Councilwoman Kaplan.
I just want to say thank you to all the veterans that came out on Monday for our Veterans Day program. It was really beautiful, and thank you as always for your service. We just don't say it enough.
Thank you. Councilman Achara.
I have 2 things, and I'm sorry I didn't get to you soon enough to also add Jimmy Camusa to the list.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. So for those of you that don't know, Jimmy Camusa was one of the founding members of the Italian American Association in town. He passed away this past week. His services are tomorrow and Saturday, but he was founding member 50 years ago. So our condolences to him and the family. Also, my computer's not working for some reason, but the Greater Ocean Township Chamber of Commerce comedy show is next Thursday at the Renaissance. Tickets are still available. You can go on the website, gotcc.org, and get your tickets. $85 gets you drinks, food, and 2 great comedians. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Dave.
Mayor, I'm good. No report this evening.
Thank you. Matt.
Nothing, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. I just want to say that the Women's Club of Asbury Park, located in Ocean Township, had a very successful golf tournament. They raised some funds for their club. They are up the street on Wickapeco, so any of my women that are out there and you're looking to join that club, they are open for membership. All right, so we are going to get into the agenda. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered routine by the Township Council and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There will be no separate discussion of these items. If the discussion is desired on any item, that item will be considered separately. The purpose of the public portion is to solely ask questions to understand resolutions that appear on the agenda and is not an occasion for a public hearing on an ordinance. All questions not related to an item on the agenda should be asked during the public comments portion at the conclusion of the meeting. If anyone has a question in regard to resolutions, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Dennis Howlett, 1638 Holbrook Street. Is this for resolutions on tonight's agenda, or could it be
Yeah.
a resolution from a prior agenda?
No, just resolutions on this agenda. If you want to ask about a prior agenda, that'll be at the end of the meeting.
I'll see you in a while.
Okay, thanks, Dennis. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Achara?
Yes, except for Resolution 13-24206B.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry? Yes. Naplatani?
Yes. Individual action vouchers in the amount of $17,644,739.32. Someone please offer.
I'll offer.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry? Yes. Naplatani?
Yes. Ordinance is up for adoption. Ordinance 2481, which is an ordinance amending Chapter 3 of the revised general ordinances of the Township of Ocean 9165, entitled General Police Regulations, Section 3-2, Loitering. Can someone please open public discussion on Ordinance 2481?
I'll move to open public discussion on Ordinance 2481.
Second,
Second.
roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry? Yes. Naplatani?
Yes. Anyone wishing to be heard on Ordinance 2481, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Alex Hayes Oakhurst. I was gonna come up here after the gentleman from Holbrook, but you didn't ask if anybody else wanted to come up. You just went straight to the next thing, so I didn't even have time to put my computer down. So I'll save some of my other comments for later. Can you just in layman's terms, just talk about, does this mean there will be no loitering, violations in town from here on out? Is that what that means?
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. Go ahead.
No, that means that the township ordinance regarding loitering is superseded by the state. So the state has its own loitering, essentially, I won't even call it loitering because they don't use that term. But the state has its own code, criminal code, that's in effect.
So the township police can issue citations for loitering, but they would just have to use the code for the state instead of the town code if they ever do that?
Yes,
that what
except that
changes?
there's not, again, loitering is not really considered loitering unless it's specifically for certain like drug areas or something. So there might not be loitering. I don't know what you're talking specifically about, what actions people are doing that they would get a ticket, but the police, if it would be something, they'd be referencing the state
Okay.
statute.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions in regard to ordinance 2481? Do I have a motion to close public discussion on ordinance 2481?
I make a motion to close public discussion on ordinance 2481.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry? Naplatani?
Yes. Action on ordinance 2481.
Move to approve ordinance 2481 and publish according to law.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry? Naplatani?
Yes. Ordinance 2481 passes. Do I have a motion to withdraw ordinance 2482?
I move to withdraw ordinance 2482.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry? Naplatani?
Yes. Ordinance number 3, motion to withdraw ordinance number 2483.
I move to withdraw ordinance 2483.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry? Naplatani?
Yes. Ordinance 2484, which is a bond ordinance providing for various improvements, appropriating $550,000, therefore authorizing the issuance of $523,500 in bonds and notes to finance a portion of the costs thereof and directing the special assessment of the costs thereof. Do I have a motion to open public discussion on 2484?
I move to open public discussion on ordinance 2484.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry? Naplatani?
Yes. Anyone wishing to be heard on ordinance 2484, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record. Seeing here none, do I have a motion to close public discussion on ordinance 2484?
I move to close public discussion on ordinance 2484.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry? Naplatani?
Yes. Action on ordinance 2484.
I move to approve ordinance 2484 and publish according to law.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry? Naplatani?
Yes. Ordinance 2484 passes. Introductions. Ordinance 2484, which is an ordinance amending Chapter 2485. An ordinance amending Chapter 5 of the Revised General Ordinances of the Township of Ocean, 1965, entitled Licenses, Section 5-6, Cannabis Business Licenses, subsection 5-16.5a, Transfer of Local Cannabis License, and subsection 5-16.8, Local Cannabis License as a Revocable Privilege. Someone please introduce ordinance 2485.
I move to introduce ordinance 2485.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry? Naplatani?
Yes. That will have its public hearing on the 12th of December. Ordinance 2486, which is an ordinance amending Chapter 21 of the Comprehensive Land Development Ordinance of the Township of Ocean, Section 21-39A, CBO, Cannabis Business Overlay Zone. Do I have someone please introduce ordinance 2486?
I move to introduce ordinance 2486.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry? Naplatani?
Yes, that too will have its hearing on the 12th of December. Ordinance 24. It's amending ordinance number 2338, entitled An Ordinance Fixing Salaries and Compensation of Certain Offices, Positions, and Employees in the Township of Ocean. Someone please introduce ordinance 2487.
Move to introduce ordinance 2487.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry? Napolitani?
Yes, that too will have its public hearing on the 12th of December, and ordinance 2488, which is an ordinance amending and supplementing ordinance 2343 entitled an ordinance amending the revised general ordinances of the Township of Ocean 1965 relating to personnel policies, practices, and procedures. Someone introduce ordinance 2488.
I move to introduce ordinance 2488.
Second.
Second.
Roll call.
Achara?
Yes.
Kaplan?
Yes.
Terry? Yes. Napolitani?
Yes, and that too will have its public hearing on the 12th of December. Public comment? What's that? No. Public comment. If anybody wish to say anything germane to the Township of Ocean, anything in regard to past resolutions, please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Dennis Howlett to 1638 Holbrook Street in Oakhurst. I have a question. I wanted to take care of some history. A while back in a meeting when you were funding the golf course for a simulator or whatever it was, and I happened to ask the question, does the golf course make any money? Mr. Brown gave me a phone number to call. I did call. It took a few tries, but I got through to somebody, and they called me back. And I can't remember the gentleman's name. I think it was like Petracchi or something like that.
Mike Patrico.
Pretty close. He told me that for the past 5 years, the golf course has made about $200,000 a year, which sounds like a nice sum of money. I didn't ask whether that was gross or net, but regardless, that's a reasonable amount of money. So, yes, the golf course apparently makes a profit. So, I was just surprised that nobody on the council could say anything about knew that amount of money, because I think I would know about $200,000 a year. That's good. Just to get it on the record, and I'm sure it already is on the record, congratulations to Gita and Jackie for a spirited race. And now we move forward. Regarding, I think it's resolution 24-189, which was on the October 10th agenda. It says basically identifying 5 potential sites for new municipal offices. It wasn't clear to me when I read it. Have the sites already been picked and they're going to identify which one of those is the best? Or do they have a list of all sorts of sites to look at? Or are they going out to find the 5 sites?
Right now, there's 5 existing sites within the municipality that could potentially house a municipal hall. So what we did was we have a planner that studied the 5 areas that will be giving a report back to the manager.
Mm-hmm.
And then the plan is, and I have to thank Councilwoman Kaplan, wants to do a town hall meeting on the town hall, which makes sense, sometime in January, February, to discuss this item that we're going to bring up.
The 5 sites, are they public knowledge or?
Yeah. Presently, you've got, Board of Ed apparently went out for what they call a request for proposal on their site. We have this existing site. There's the open field up the street. There is the property across from Deal 135, which is a wooded lotted area that we own currently. And there's a site on Asbury Avenue.
Okay, so I'll call it the Meadow. The Meadow is still one of the sites that's being.
There's 5 spots, 5 locations that are being studied by a planner.
Okay.
No decision's been made.
Okay, but that's is the Meadow the only one that is a current green acre or blue acre piece of property?
It's the only one.
Okay. That's interesting. When there was funding for this resolution, it came from, I thought it was 23,000 or 32,000, something like that. What account did that come from? What is account? I have the number here if you want me to read it off. Is that
would be with the CFO. I don't.
okay?
You can call Dave tomorrow. He can give you the answer.
Would you happen to know whether that's from the Open Land Trust Fund?
You can contact David tomorrow. He'll probably direct you to the CFO or.
I don't have them memorized, so.
You don't?
It's a lot of accounts.
You wouldn't know offhand whether it's from the trust fund?
No.
Okay. Are there any current plans in town for purchasing new open green space?
There's no open green space to purchase right now.
I guess that's a no. Okay. Do you know what the balance is on the trust fund now?
I have no idea.
That would be a CFO question.
Is it a different, well, could it be $1 million or 10 cents?
I don't have that answer. I don't have the entire budget balances in front of me.
Okay. Are there going to be holiday lights put up again this year?
Yes.
Okay. Is that going to come out of the trust fund again?
That's a CFO question.
That one we could probably answer.
I would say yes.
You would say yes? Okay, is it still going to be in the same range of what it was before, or now we own the lights? Or
No,
something?
yeah, there you go. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's something about we own the lights and then the electricity's already there now too.
Okay. Were there volunteers that did some of the work last
That
time?
I'm not aware of because it was a public works operation.
Okay. Could you tell me who who's in charge of parks and maintenance that would be in charge of Playa Park? You have any idea who that would be?
Yeah,
Your friend Mike.
yeah, Mike Patrico, who's director of recreation.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I had an idea of something that I wanted to do in the park, he's the person I should talk to about.
Absolutely.
Okay. And I don't know if Mr. Chair has had a chance to talk to the gentleman who
I have
wanted
not.
to play,
I
Friends
left
of
a
Playa.
message, but I have not spoken to him.
Okay, well, hope you have better luck than I do. I have a little bit of information, questions about e-bikes again, but I could send that information to Dr. Fisher if that's it's okay with you, okay? I'll make a couple comments about trash pickup in Playa Park. I am a longtime user and picker up of trash in Playa Park. And every year there are certain things that go on regular. The Ocean Township soccer tournament, the July 4th festival, and the Italian festival. And at the end of when those festivals were over, all those three things, there was a lot of trash in the park. And whoever was in charge of picking up the trash did an outstanding job. So, and it's really good to see. The one thing that I do see in the park, unfortunately, more than in recent years, is trash after the weekends and all the soccer games are done. I don't know, I would imagine that it would be a good idea if somebody could talk to the OTUSA management and remind the coaches of the teams in town that it's their job to tell the other coaches that they have to pick up the trash, so Dennis doesn't have to do it. Could somebody help me find out where the current Ocean Township ordinances are all listed? Because using the search on the township website will give you about 13,000 answers, or something like that. Because all you can look for is ordinances, like cat ordinance. You look up cat ordinance, you're inundated with all these things that I'd spend the rest of my life trying to figure it out.
The E-code is under revised general ordinances on a little drop down that'll take you to all of them.
The what code?
The electronic. They have an electronic code. It's if you go onto the township website, it has a little drop down under government, and then it drops down and it says revised general ordinances.
Okay,
That's it.
I'll give it a try. Great. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Anyone else wishing to be heard? Please step up to the microphone, state your name and address for the record.
Jackie Wenzel, 610 Deal Road. First, I'd like to congratulate Gita Kaplan on a successful race.
Thank you.
I think an abundance of lawn signs definitely helped. I tried recycling mine, which had an environmental purpose, but I don't think it was quite as effective. But I'm really proud of the number of votes, the number of people that came out for this election. I mean, when I looked back in some of the history, it's between the two of us, and it's more than anybody has gotten on this council in years. I don't know how far back the history is, but what I'd like to say is, I do speak. My campaign has been about speaking for the people, and I was happy to see you say, make your voice heard. I think we need to add something within this meeting that feels more inviting to a part of the meeting that is specific for the public. I know this is the public moment, but when we go through all of the agenda items, it's very quick, it's very formal. Maybe this agenda could be given out to the people online some way, like a day or so before we have this meeting, so they can get a bit more involved.
It is posted.
It is posted already.
It has to be posted.
So how,
48
when?
48
hours prior to the meeting.
Okay, so maybe you could send an email out to the people and let them know, or somehow reach out, or how could we let them know? I mean, people,
I always laugh at this, and I respectfully agree that more communication is better, transparency is better, but you're the third person in 2 days to say, send emails out. We don't have emails.
so you're always posting things in the coaster, right? Maybe that could be in the coaster.
Respectfully, that costs money,
Okay.
but it's
Well,
on
it
the
gives
web-
people-
No, hold on, I'm not arguing with you.
Well, how
It's on
can
a-
we
hold on,
let
hold
them
on,
know?
Let me answer the question.
Okay.
I just told you and the other 55 people that are gonna see this, that the agendas are on the website.
Right.
If they're interested in seeing the agendas, they'll go to the website, respectfully. If they're not interested, I don't care what we do, they're not gonna be interested.
And there are 3 locations on the website.
All right, but maybe there's, I don't know, I feel like people get intimidated here. No one's
I
showing
tell
up for
you
these
what,
meetings,
if-
and yet they're interested. I mean,
honestly,
a lot of them voted in our local election.
Right.
Agreed.
And Jackie, if you have an idea that's better than what we're doing now, we're all ears. Okay, other than, putting an entire agenda into the coaster.
I was
If you have
thinking,
if you have a better idea, we would welcome the suggestion.
okay, I'll work on that. I was thinking, since I had such an impressive amount of votes, maybe you could put a 6th seat up here. You could add another council seat, and I would be more of
Change
the.
the form of government, too.
I would be more of the, I'd bring the people's message to the table.
I think we all bring messages to the table, Jackie.
I
with
know,
all
but
due
it
respect.
does feel a little.
Just
it's a
also to
little-
clarify, I think this is the first time our election was held during a general election, so
Or a
I'm
general
thrilled with my
presidential
amount of
election.
exactly.
Yes,
I'm
but
thrilled
the
with
same,
my number
the
of
same
votes.
The
thing.
only other
That's why there's a
person that came
discrepancy.
close to you was me in 2017 when I ran against nobody and had 4,200 votes in a gubernatorial year, which is off by 25% because I checked the numbers. So you had an impressive amount of people that came out and voted this time. We were 65-70%, which was incredible. We'd love to see that every time. Believe me, we would love it every single time.
Well, I was waiting for.
And it's not for lack of trying to get people out to the polls. Believe me,
And
everybody
Jackie,
tried.
I will say that, I'm sorry, Mayor.
Yeah.
I was just talking to the manager, and keep me honest, Mayor and Dave, what's your name, Matt. The 2 times that this room was full had to do with deer and cats.
Deer and cats.
Yeah.
I remember the deer, and I missed the cats.
Cats was standing room.
And what were we going to do to the cats?
We weren't gonna do it, well, we discussed a neutering, what is it called?
Trap, neuter,
T something, whatever.
TNR.
TNR,
Trap,
thank you.
neuter.
Respectfully, again, I mean, we try to bring people in, we do ceremonies so we can fill the room up for 10 minutes, and unfortunately, as the mayor always does, we invite everybody to stay and they leave. So,
As a matter of fact, the last time you saw how packed the room was,
Right.
you were the only 3 left after everybody went out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Now, next month, we're honoring several people at the council meeting. Guarantee this room will be packed. When the meeting's over, when we're done honoring them, they'll leave.
But maybe we don't
What
tell
we
them. So
found
maybe we tell them to
was-
stay.
what we have,
Sometimes we say, all right, anyone who doesn't want to be here for the meeting can go now, and they do, because I think maybe they feel they're not needed or welcomed. I don't
well,
know.
I mean, I think if we tell them, I mean, they know they don't have to stay for a public meeting. They've already been honored.
Or they don't have to. Just that maybe it'd be interesting.
Okay.
So to bring up one of Dennis's points about the open space, you had mentioned in terms of you paid, I don't know, some surveyor $23,000 to find to survey where we would put a new municipal building, correct?
Planner.
That planner, about 23,000. I just was wondering, when we don't have anybody under the salary, the payroll already in town that could make that type of assessment.
I
I
think
think
we
it's-
want it to be independent, right?
Why wouldn't it be independent if it was somebody here in town?
Someone who's
working for the
not
company?
someone who's not invested in the decision, right? If someone is in the town that works for the town is going to be in the new municipal building, I think
Right,
it's not really an independent role.
right. Are you counting my 5 minutes? No, because
I'll extend you to where Dennis went.
well, I'm talking for 5,000 plus people here, so it takes a
Right.
little bit of time, So,
And we're talking for 30,000 up here as elected officials.
right,
We're speaking for all of them, not the 5,000 that voted for you or the 6 that voted for her. We're here for all the residents.
No, I
It doesn't
understand that.
matter. It doesn't matter whether they voted for you, her, or whomever. We're up here representing the entire municipality, whether they voted for us or not.
I know, but then you have to give us more than 5 minutes when we come and make an effort
But
to
we
be here.
haven't. We have a resolution that was passed dictating what the time frame was. Because what happens is we can get into a situation where we're just going on and on and on and on and on and over and over and over again.
You know, but that's
why
not
we would
happening
prefer
these
to-
days.
I
That was
know.
when Save 32 Acres and we had a room packed. I understood the reason for the 5 minutes then because everybody was more or less coming up about the same issue. In this case, you know, there were just a couple things because Dan Jacobson, when I was starting this, actually, we had met at the Meadow when we had that get-together of residents, you know, hoping that that would not be a location for the new municipal building. And he said, you know how I got on the council? I went door to door, knocked on everybody's door. And I did that as much as I could. And you really do get a lot of back and forth with the people. And they, you know, they don't feel coming to the meetings makes any difference in what decisions are made. And I said, well, you know, you need to show up and maybe we can inspire them to come more. That's why I was wondering, how else can we reach out? You're saying it's on the website, so it's their effort. They have to come out. Maybe we could put an ad in, like one of those ads in the paper to just say, we just put a bunch of ads in the paper. Put one in that says we'd like to invite residents to make, you know, get it on your calendar to, this is our calendar for the year. Maybe you put the calendar for the year.
That's
and
a
say,
good idea.
And say, you know, any one of these dates.
Well,
come
everybody
and-
gets mailed a calendar in the town,
That's a
and
good idea.
all of the meetings are in the calendar. So if you look on the calendar and you have that calendar, it's actually highlighted
Well,
when the meetings are.
I don't know then. But why do they tell us one and one all the
You get
issues they
calendar?
have?
Do you get the municipal calendar?
Oh, I'm sorry, John.
I get a glossy paper.
That's where all the meetings are.
Yeah.
Planning board, zoning board, DLA commission, us.
Well, that's why I didn't do mailers. I know you did a lot of mailers. I didn't do mailers because a lot of times I go through my mail and I pull out the bills. And then I get right down to the bills. And a lot of that then just goes in my basket on the table.
So
and
that
I
if
don't
we
always
send
get
something
to
out
it.
for the meetings, that'll probably get thrown out too.
Well, I'm sort of thinking that maybe, because everything is in the coaster, you know? You're always saying to me that ordinance
We
was in the
have
coaster.
them posted in the
So-
coaster too.
Right, so maybe people are have more of an familiar feeling of going to the coaster because that's where they feel they'll see town news. And maybe you don't do it every meeting, but maybe you say, oh, we're going to have an exciting meeting this week because
And respect.
Of whatever.
Exciting to you may not be exciting to Dennis, and may not be exciting to Alex.
all right, so I would say if we're going to have a meeting about where the new municipal building is going to go, that is one that definitely had people excited. Also,
And that'll be advertised.
Also, when you talked about other green, there was the Green Acres, the meadow, but you said there was other green space that we have when you were just telling Dennis about where the possible locations could be.
It's not dedicated green space.
It's not, but it's green. It's on
not
the.
dedicated green space.
I understand
why-
that.
that's
There are
why
trees
that-
there now.
Right.
Okay. So why couldn't we buy that land with Green Acres since we have a Green Acres
Why
fund?
would we buy something that we already own? We already own it.
No, but, oh,
The
so
town
we
owns
own
those
it,
two.
but it's not Green Acres?
No.
Okay. So you're saying there's no place that we could buy land at this point? Is that what you said?
I haven't seen any land that needs to be purchased.
Then can we get our tax money back that they've been taking? We're paying into an open space fund. If there is no open space, why is an extra tax being
For the
taken from us?
Preservation and improvements of the open space. And who knows what'll
But that's
come up
not
in
what
the
it was
future.
for. It was to buy undeveloped land was the intention.
We bought Capwell 2 years ago.
Right. But now there isn't any other space is what we're being
Well,
told.
that wasn't ours. I mean, respectfully, I mean that we bought that to prevent future development.
Right.
So if something like that happens again, and it may, then we'd have the money in the fund to do it.
Right, but we've been dipping into it for other things like
'Cause
Christmas,
you're
holiday
allowed to,
lights.
as we explained last time, it's for the improvement, preservation, and making sure that that open space is taken care of properly.
Right, but using equipment to, I don't know, that's not how it was
You need
originally.
equipment to take care of the open
Originally,
space.
it was impressed upon all of us, it would be monies to set aside to preserve land, open space, just like the corner at, 35 and Deal was at one time. just open, green, for wildlife and for our oxygen and for the cooling of the planet and all those cool things that trees do. But anyway, that's what we were all under the impression. So I'm wondering if maybe we should give the residents an opportunity to say, because let me just say one more thing and I promise I'll sit down. Before this, we had this fund, before we had this open space fund, where did the expenses for maintaining the playgrounds, we're buying new excavation machines, trucks, where did that money come from before we had the open space fund?
Did you see our parks before we fixed them up? We had not.
I've been here
really,
27 years.
I know, but and if you've been around at the parks, you'll notice that they were really not in great shape. And I really attribute what Mike Patrico's done in that recreation department to enhance all of our open space. He's done a fantastic job with what he's been dealt in the town and how things were neglected for a long time. This council's about progress and making sure that we update, upgrade, and make sure that this municipality is running efficiently and smoothly, and it's in a good spot. The other thing is, if you look in the master plan, it's clearly in the plan that Jim Higgins put together for this council to review, that this municipal hall is way overdue for replacement. It's in the master plan.
So I have why
so
not?
At that point, I'm going to stop it because we've now gone on almost 15 minutes.
Well, now you just brought up a thing about the municipal building.
Jackie, with all due respect, we've gone on 15 minutes.
I know.
Okay.
I have one more thing to say about the municipal
I
building.
thought that was your last
It
thing.
is, but it's, because you
Every
haven't.
time we have a last thing, we have another last thing.
Well,
I
the
think
open
I've been,
space,
honestly,
the open
Jackie, I've
space.
been more than fair at this point, and I'm trying to be very respectful.
All right, I have one more thing to say.
And one more things are we?
This is the one more thing.
Okay.
The municipal building. Why are we being pressured to move out of this space for any reason? Because otherwise, I would like to suggest, because I think this is very centrally located, and I'm not a surveyor, but I feel it is. Couldn't it be possible to take up office in the old Board of Education or just somewhere and have them demo this if that's what you feel needs to happen, and just rebuild here?
You have people that'll be out of place for 2 years if you do that. Where would you like them to go?
Well, somewhere, I mean, like you said, the old Board of Ed building or wherever.
It's on the
That's
list.
part of the study.
It's part of the study.
Part of the study.
Because I just think to take more open space for it, specifically
Well,
the
you
meadow
can't-
or any
you
other.
You can't take open space if it's dedicated unless you divert the open space. And
Right,
then
but you're
you
saying the land we own where
potentially-
there's trees.
I'll make one more statement and then we'll have the next person come up. I will say this, that our environment, I know, but I'm not going to sit here all night and go back and forth on this, okay? We've belabored this point. Our environmental commission chairperson, former, who's on the planning board,
Right.
is completely looking at that as well, saying it's great. No trees have to come down.
Saying what is great.
That the open space over there, the open field, that's coming from the environmental person, okay? I've spoken to many people. There's no decision made.
It'd be very
There's
dense.
been no decision made. There's been no architectural plans drawn up. There's been nothing. It's been a discussion. It is an idea. It is part of the master plan that you have told us we need to follow, which we're doing. It's
Or you
clearly
changed the master plan.
delineated it's been in the plan
Yeah, but
because
the
this
revised
building
plan.
has outlived its life. Thank you.
Then what will go here?
Thank you.
Do you have any suggestion what's going to go here?
We haven't made a decision yet, so I can't tell you what's going to go here. How would I know if we haven't made a decision?
Well, no, but if you're planning on
There's
moving
no
from
decision
here.
made yet.
Okay.
Thank you.
A lot of signs going on.
Yes.
Is it still on?
I think you hit the button. Alex?
No, well,
Alex, I think you turned it off.
We'll start.
So, on break. So that's probably deal late. But that must be the way to do it, isn't it? So where's that? You know,
Thank you. Okay. I have a lot of questions, so I'll just do what I did last time, and I'll just, say them, and then maybe you can answer them if you want in sequential order. How about that? It took me a while to find the 5 p.m. meeting on YouTube today. It was the first time I actually wanted to log in and watch you guys from home. So accessibility is part of the problem here. I know you put the agenda online, like,
And the link.
I did not find the link actually. And you can only find and watch the YouTube once you subscribe
Correct.
to the YouTube.
Which it says.
It doesn't say, and then it will pop up live, by the way. It does not. It does not give you specific instructions. There are some people
My post does.
who aren't. Oh, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's great that you post it. It would be awesome if the town did. You also could not hear Greg, Dave, Jesse. You couldn't hear very well because I don't know where your omnidirectional mic is, but it was horrible audio. You really could only hear Rob and the mayor. I think if you're going to be voting and talking about the cannabis businesses in town, specifically like when the mayor said there's going to be a significant amount of tax revenue coming in, a windfall, you even used that word. I don't understand how we don't have possible scenarios that talk about some of the money. I know that you asked like the two guys that were there today, like what kind of money are we looking at? I mean, I'm for additional tax revenue, but I'm surprised we don't have any ballpark figures. How we don't
I
have
have a
any
ballpark figure
guesstimations.
from one of the manufacturers I can tell you after we go through the other questions.
Awesome. I think I understood that you said you're going to be looking into Bibler being one way. If that's the way I understood it, you'll be looking into that. I love the shout out from Greg saying that lady who comes to all the township meetings. That was great. But I did want him to clarify, or I wanted to clarify, I was questioning the sidewalks that people had to be assessed and had to pay and were not allowed to say no to the sidewalks. I don't think the last time I brought it up I was talking about aprons or curbs. I was specifically talking about some people were not given the ability to say no to sidewalks years ago, and they are still paying for sidewalks. And now residents can say, nope, I don't want the sidewalks, except in those couple of examples that they can't. I mean, if you could capture the light bulbs and the smiles that went up on this council when the wholesaler said you guys could be the first in the state to have a wholesaler. I mean, it was just like a Disney moment of, really? That could be us? That's an observation. The staffing report from the chief of police, I'm wondering if that's something this week that I could get a copy of, and if need be, if it's operable, the positions and salaries. Okay. I fully support the public defender getting extra money. The $19,000 is embarrassing. But nobody knows how many cases he sees. So I'd like to know how many cases on a yearly basis the last several years. So if that's something I can Oprah, I will do that as well next week. I didn't know what the rehab area is. So perhaps you can explain that this town has a rehab area where there's tax incentives, like maybe the delineation of streets. Like, where is that rehabilitation area? Never heard of it in my life. I saw Mr. Brown was being named the housing liaison for the town's affordable housing program. And I'm sure you all are familiar with the article that came out, I think last week, about how the state is mandating more affordable housing units. And I believe it said Ocean Township is going to require by law like 165 or something like that. So that's a lot. So I'm curious if there is an affordable housing program like on paper that I can also get a copy of, because I don't see how we're gonna reach that. I think that's it, except for the Ocean Glades condominium site on Cindy Lane. I mean, I Googled that, and obviously it's a known contaminated site, and we're obviously asking for DEP approval and research. So what is that? Are they building a new condominium over there on Cindy Lane? More information on that would be awesome, and if there's going to be more affordable housing. I think that's it for right now. Okay, there's a bunch of questions in there. You don't have to answer them all, but.
Well, I'll go through what you got.
Okay.
You know, 5 p.m. meeting. Definitely, Dave, if we could have Tracy throw it up on the site the same way Rob does so that they know where they're going. Cannabis, one guy mentioned that, with one of the manufacturers claimed they can do upwards of 25 million just with the one license. So that's a number. I think it's pretty high. I think, if you get out of the 5 licenses and you're over 50 million total, I think that's a low number, and that's about $1 million in tax revenue. So to me, yes, that is a windfall.
So 25 million in sales
On
The
one
one-
license. I don't.
could be $1 million in tax revenue. Is that?
No, I said 25 million, or 20. I'm saying 20 million. We could potentially have 50 million total out of the 5 licenses, which I think is low, but I like to lowball things. And 50 million equates 2%, equates to $1 million in tax revenue. Bimler Boulevard, we're looking at obviously one way. We had speed bumps on there. There's an incredible amount of traffic, but we're going to study that. Going to contact the county and also Asbury Park, let them know what we're considering. The sidewalk issue, that was explained when you watched it, so you know how it was explained by Greg.
Yeah.
The chief staffing report, I'm going to defer that to Dave Brown. Dave, that's...
Yeah, no, the answer is yes, it's open.
Thank
Okay.
you.
PD rehab area. Dave, do we have 7 areas that are rehabilitation areas?
Well, off the top, I remember Monmouth Road and Route 35.
Sections of Route 35.
Sections, so it's Eatontown to West Park to Deal, Deal to Sunset, Sunset to the Circle, corner of Sunset.
And to make it
7-Eleven.
easier, operable.
There's a map. There's a map,
Jesse
maybe.
there's a map and everything. Jesse
So
and I
we
just
would
went
want
through
to
this
entice-
exercise today.
We would want to entice business owners.
Yes, and that's part of what you
That's what we're looking at.
talking about with the company called Topology.
Yeah, we are being told, nothing's confirmed, we're being told that Orchard Plaza site may possibly be sold, and we're waiting to find that out. Once we hear that it's done, then the developer will come to us and, obviously want to do something with the site, which is very, very good news for us in the town. Affordable housing, I believe once we had this next round, we're about 166 short. The manager and I have had several meetings with developers and our unmet need. We have a few ideas. Yes, it's a difficult number to get to. Definitely agree with you on that. So we are looking at creative ways that we can get them in here in town, as per the state of New Jersey. And the Ocean Glades site is being looked at for a potential public works area where we can consolidate all of our sites. We have Beecroft, which will probably never be developed once if we are able to move over there, provided that the DEP gives us the approval, along with our other sites, and have them all in one spot. That's the plan.
So Ocean Glades site is the thing that the mysterious entity or mysterious site that the school board and you all are contemplating shared services, even though it's called Ocean Glades Condominium.
That's what it used to be.
So it used to be it was going to be a condominium site.
It was a condominium site that they had started to build, and it mysteriously got lit on fire.
Wow.
Yeah, years ago.
Sounded so out of a movie. Okay.
Well, I mean, we're talking mysteries here, so
Yeah, okay.
well, we're just going to keep it mysterious.
Okay. And then I can get the affordable housing plan.
Dave,
It's
is
actually
that online?
It's online, but I think
Affordable
it-
housing plan? Is it
Oh,
online?
yeah, so
It's online because it's court order of online.
yes, it's very voluminous. It's online, but it's
On our
huge.
website, like
yeah,
probably 72 clicks in
Yeah,
order to
and
get
there's
it online, or
Nice ass.
yeah.
Bet
I
you
don't
could do
remember,
it
but
too.
I dare you.
it's
I'm gonna challenge you.
Um,
That too.
you know, and then
Okay.
all the other COA stuff is you can able to get that through COA.
Okay.
It'll give you actually the whole state obligations,
Yes,
and then we're in the
that was
middle
on
of
the article
Yep.
in the
exactly.
Star Ledger.
Yep.
Okay. And then okay, that was all my questions. I think I even talked for less than 5. But Mayor, you said we did everything we could to get the vote out. The township only posted one thing about voting, and it was when there was I think it was when there were early voting started. I said to Mr. Achera, there aren't even polling locations on our website. So it would be a little bit more.
They are on there.
No, there are not. There absolutely are not.
Okay, hold on. Let me do the
There
affordable
are
housing
not.
and then I'll show you the sites.
And if there's a presidential election, you shouldn't have to click 4 things in order to find out what your precinct is and where your precinct has moved.
I think the
That
42
would not-
texts I got a day from various candidates were enough of a reminder for me that there was an election. And
you don't need a
honestly,
reminder.
Alex, I'll tell you, running in elections and knocking on doors, and even friends, if I had the amount of votes that all of my quote friends told me they voted for, I would be president of the United States of America, because people just don't want to get out and vote. You are 100% correct. It's an abomination that people don't get out and vote. It's horrible. I work in the city of Asbury Park. I work with Cubans that, came to America because they didn't have the right to vote, and they have always told me they never miss a chance. The problem is people are complacent. It has nothing to do with the Township of Ocean not trying to get the vote out. It's the candidates that have to get the vote out. It's not for the Township.
I'm not blaming
to say.
you. I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
I mean, I agree with
that
you.
we have done everything, and you might have been meaning like me as you as a person or Rob as
I
a
think
person.
individually
the,
we do
the
a lot.
town, yeah, but the town does not tell people where to go. Is my observation.
It's on the site.
Because I didn't know where.
And we have a county clerk that sends
When
out
you
that
get your sample
notification.
ballot, it has the location.
I know. But
And you
when
take
I'm
that
leaving
machine.
work at 5:00 and I need to know where my precinct that was moved a year ago is, that is not easy to find. I mean, I don't know why you're arguing over. Somebody is saying like, can you put the precincts front
The
and center
districts.
during
The
election?
voting districts?
Yes.
Yes.
That's essential. All right. Thanks.
Thank you. Motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
We had public comments.
Got gentleman in the back there.
Yeah, Dennis went first. Well, what are you gonna do? Keep going around and around?
Oh, no, sorry, I didn't think, I didn't see you in it.
Huh?
You went already.
Yeah, we went round already.
You mentioned cats. I was in town hall the other day, and I never knew there was a license for cats.
Sure.
Does everybody in town who has a cat have to have a license?
Yes.
No kidding.
Yep.
And
Like a dog.
are cats allowed to be outdoors with collar and stuff like that if they have a license? They just wander around?
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand.
If somebody does a requirement to get a license mean that you can't let your cat run free?
No, if you own a pet cat,
Yeah,
you have to license it.
okay. But it doesn't say anything about whether they can just run free. Dogs can't run free, right? But cats can?
I don't think you're allowed to let your animals wander around. It's your pet. You'd be responsible for them if they attack somebody.
Well, you must live in a different neighborhood than I do. I see beautiful cats with collars on all hours of night and day without any human attached to them.
That happens with cats.
Thanks, Dennis. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?